Alright, hi everyone. So in this video, I'm going to give you a full update on the high budget CoC Cyclone. Okay, so this is for both the Ice Nova and the Ice Spear. But as mentioned previously, I would recommend you guys to go the Ice Spear version because of how Nimis was implemented last league and it is still working fine. Okay, we shall talk about it later. So the contents will be very simple. I will go through the updated Google spreadsheet first, just for a brief moment. And then I'm going to talk about the Nimis interaction, like how has the changes affected this league, so on and so forth. Third will be the POB changes for both the Ice Spear and the Ice Nova. And I'm going to show you some gameplay afterwards and I'll just conclude off the video. Right, let's go. Alright, so first of all, the Google spreadsheet has been updated. This is under column 18 and 19. Alright, this is for the Ice Spear and the Ice Nova. The trade links are all updated also, and you can find the new paste bin over here for the POB. Alright, there is honestly quite a few changes, so just go in and have a look. For those of you that have bought, unfortunately, this is, I will say this is the better version. Alright, this is the better version because there are some tweaks and changes to survivability, more ES, more damage output, and also with the new introduction of the 10% leech, it is really very good. Okay, so yeah, do have a look at yourself. For the price, right, it is still sitting around 50 div. Alright, there are some items that have increased in price, some of them has been lower in price. Stuff like, let's say, the Militant Fate, the Unnatural Instinct, the Energy from Within all have lower in price, but the threat of hope has increased drastically, basically due to the changes from bow builds. The large item, the large passive threat of hope is very expensive now because of bow builds, and that has affected us. We are kind of like the victim of it, right? So no choice, a little bit of give and take over here, and the rest is just all here. Alright, steps and instructions you want to craft yourself, they are all here as well, so just have a look. And this is the same for the Ice Nova as well. Okay, everything is here. Prices around 50 div. Prices might change based on market economy, so don't expect it to be exactly the same. It can be lesser, it can be higher, it really depends. Okay, and now on over to Nimis. Alright, Nimis is basically a ring that, for those of you that have been following my build, we all know this thing is just broken shit good on Ice Spear. Alright, what it does, it basically gives you lightning resistance, dex, additional projectile damage, and the main thing is projectiles return to you. Projectiles are fired in a random direction. So which means, in short, Ice Spear is going to shoot 360 degrees, alright, randomly. Randomly, it's not always the same direction, so randomly. And it will go to the furthest distance, and it will come back to you. Alright, but there are some implications and changes this league, and it has got many of us very confused. Alright, so I'm just going to read a quick one. This is the FAQ previously. What are the implications to the changes of the way projectiles return to you for both Kinetic Blast and Fireball when you use the Nimis ring, blah blah blah. Okay, so basically what they say is Nimis changes from projectiles return to you at the end of flight to projectiles return to you. Okay, this means projectiles will return if they collide with a target and don't pierce from it, where therefore before they would not have done so. So from this, right, at first I thought that whatever target it hits, it will not pierce and it return to you. Okay, because if it's this way, then Nimis is just goddamn bad now. It's like garbage, trash tier bad. Okay, but apparently I have tested it on standard and I've tested it now that I'm on high budget, and it still works the same way as before. Okay, it still works the same way as before, in which if let's say there are 3 monsters in front of you, Ice Spear is going to pierce all 3 monsters. It's still going to reach out to the furthest distance and it will come back to you. So these changes, right, is basically just to change the interaction between Kinetic Blast, Fireball, and Spark, whereby previously they were just super broken with this. You can just go back and forth and it will hit multiple times on that instance. Alright, I think that these changes is really meant for those 3 skills in particular, and so Ice Spear is not affected. Okay, Ice Spear is not affected. Whatever you pierce, it still will come back and you still deal double damage. Right? So that thing is good for us. Yeah, so if you guys are actually worried about it, don't have to worry. Everything else is still the same for Nimis with our build. Alright, and POB changes. What has changed? First up is the skill tree. Nothing has changed for the skill tree, okay? It is still the same. Our militant fate is still on the right, and we are still gonna take all the passive nodes, masteries, whatever that is shown here. Alright, trees is still the same. You have the level 80, 90, and the 101. Basically 100, I'm just going to go for slightly more ES to try and reach 5.5k, I'm sorry, and then just the triple crit multi for just slightly more damage. Okay, it's really up to you. If you do not want this more damage, you feel it's enough, then you want to go more life, by all means you can always just take more energy shield anywhere, okay, and you can easily reach 5.6 or somewhere around there. Okay, it's actually pretty neat as well. Okay, so nothing has changed. We are still hitting for about, okay, let me take the level 95. 3 is more accurate. So we have a slight drop of damage, alright, because of how the way arcane search has been reworked. So we no longer can use arcane search as additional spell damage buff, and this has dropped our DPS by, I would say, around maybe around 8%. Around 8%. We still have around 50M, okay? So it's really good. It's still crazy good for single target damage. Alright, and next is skill gems. So skill gems wise, everything else is also still the same. Okay, everything else is still the same. Just that arcane search is no longer in use, right? So we're gonna use frostblink only, and in that case, there is one extra skill gem slot. Okay, you can put anything you want. I'm just gonna put in portal here. Alright. So this is a very simple one button build with a one button movement speed. Okay, if you can see over here, I literally have nothing. My right click is Cyclone and my Q is Frostblink. That's all. That's all I need to press. Really, that's all. The rest of them is automated. Maybe Porter if you want, you can press. Yeah, that's all. Really, that's all. That's really very simple. Okay, so the skill sets you gotta change accordingly. If you do not have Nimis yet, then you gotta press the default. If you have Nimis, you change to Nimis. Why difference is because of the 2x count of ice speed over here. Okay, if you do not have Nimis, you are gonna deal half damage only, because your ice speed is just gonna shoot out once. It's not gonna come back, so there's no double damage. Right, take note of this. And if you have Headhunter, just change it accordingly. I have the different filters here, so you can just play around with it. Okay, item. This is where most of the changes come in. Okay, so first of all, cosplay has no changes. We're still going to maintain at 14% attack speed with the harvest enchant of 1% increase attack speed per 8% quality. Alright, this is going to help us reach the 10.12 APS. Alright, it is not possible to reach 10.10. I've tried many alternatives and stuff. If you somehow manage to do it for whatever reason, then you can always let me know on Discord or in the comments. Alright, next is Prism Guardian, no change. Helmet now, we are going to put in the +1 to level of socketed projectile gem, but what we really want is projectile pierce and agitational target. Okay, so I'm going to count together with you guys. So now this is a +1 pierce. Okay, +1 pierce. So no longer using ES or bench class strength or whatever, it's going to fulfill somewhere else. Right, body armor is still the same. Incursion glove. Now the incursion glove, I'm just going to go with 1 energy shield, 2 resist, of course one of them is the incursion mod, and then we're going to have the +1 level to socketed projectile gems again. Okay, so there's another +1 pierce right here, so now it's +2. And the Eater of War modifier, you're going to put projectile pierce 1 additional target, so now it's a +3 pierce. Okay, so it's a +3 pierce in total. This is where we're going to get our pierce, and our clear for mapping is going to be pretty awesome as well. Alright, so this is basically the changes. Boots is still the same. Alright, you have your cooldown recovery rate and tailwind on crit with onslaught. Now, amulet, presence of Chayula. I know we have been talking a lot about this because of the changes to breach. The blessing has been goddamn expensive. Usually this is going to go for about like what, 20 to 40 chaos only, but it's nearly 3 to 4 divine now. So we can't live with it, okay? This thing is just too good. Stun immunity, 60 chaos res, and like what, 1000 plus ES? You can't find this kind of attribute on any of the other amulet. Right, so no choice, and Whisper of the Doom allocation is actually quite expensive right now. Per golden oil is like 75 to 90 C, so really expensive. Alright, Nimis ring. So if you do not have the Nimis ring, it's basically just a default attribute plus cold damage ring. This is made and meant to do so in such a way, if you purchase your Nimis ring, you're gonna just replace it straight away. Okay, so be mindful of this ring. This is like a temporary ring before you buy Nimis if you do not have currency. Okay, and then now the second ring is basically a attribute ring. Okay, we're gonna fulfill the attributes over here, which is how you're gonna do it is you're gonna buy a fracture ring, probably unset, or any ring you want. Okay, any ring you want. If you want to buy an amethyst ring, it is fine as well. Okay, so amethyst ring is going to help you cap your chaos rest, which is basically what I'm doing. Okay, so you can see I have amethyst ring here, and what we're going to do is buy amethyst ring with a fractured maximum energy shield, and you're going to just spam your essence of sorrow on it until you have at least 35 strength. Okay, it is very easy, trust me, it is not hard to craft this. All you need to do is just spam until you have 35 strength. Alright, and then just throw in your attribute catalyst, and you have this ring with a prefix of non-channeling skills at -7 total mana cost. That's it. Really, that's it. Simple. Alright, otherwise you can just buy yours straight from the market. Belt. For the belt, oh wait, this is not a... My bad. I just realized. Okay, this is no longer a shaper belt. You don't need a shaper belt. Right? You can just take any crystal belt with the following stats. You can buy them off. Or how I do this belt is basically I bought a crystal belt with at least either a fractured strength or maximum energy shield, and I'm just going to spam Essence of Envy with Chaos Rest. Alright, for this is the deafening one, which is slightly more expensive. You can use the Shrieking one, it doesn't matter. Okay, you're just basically getting Chaos Rest right here. So Chaos Rest until you get either the strength or maximum energy shield, whichever that you want. Alright, whichever that you are basically buying off from the fractured item. And once you have spam until you get the stats, all you need to do is have an open suffix and benchcraft 11% increased cooldown recovery rate. Okay, 11%, mind you. So if you actually get higher cooldown, then you don't really need 11%. We just need a total of... Okay, I can't remember. Hold on a second. Cast on crit is 31%, right? Yeah, so total we only need 21% on both our belt and our boots for the cooldown recovery rate. Okay. For the flask, nothing has been changed. And now over to the skill jewels. Sorry. So first of all, I think the jewels I will probably just talk over here. Okay, Watcher's Eye is still the same. You definitely need the Hatred. Critical strike chance while affected by Hatred at least 1.6. Alright, the other one is optional. Okay, for I think the best one if you do not want to spend too much currency is just additional physical damage reduction while affected by Determination. You can easily get this for about another additional 2 more div, which I feel is worth it, okay, because it's going to increase your survivability by a lot. Okay, next is over here, Thread of Hope. This is the one that I've been talking about. It is the large ring, and this has been buffed significantly for bow builds, and we are the victim of it, unfortunately. Okay, this is expensive, so no choice. This tool is really good. This thing gives us tons of damage, and this thing gives us ton of ES, like 20% increased energy shield just for one node. Okay, so this is really very good. No choice. Over here, the large cluster jewel is still the same. We're going to go for either Blanketed Snow, or if you want the more budget version, which I am using, is Blast Freeze. Okay, so basically I am using Blast Freeze over here. You can see I have Blast Freeze, Prismatic Heart, and Widespread Destruction. Blast Freeze is going for like 1 div, but then the Blanketed Snow is going for about 5 div. Okay, so just a little bit of slight damage, but Blanketed Snow is really more for against fighting bosses, but I feel we have more than enough damage for bosses, so personal preference, up to you. If you have currency, you want to spend it, by all means. For the medium cluster jewel, okay, the first one is our projectile damage. Same, you're still gonna go with eye to eye and repeater, and the other one is also the crit cluster jewel. Okay, so if you are able to purchase one with chaos resistance, that will be really great because let's just say, okay, if you have, let's say, chaos resistance over here, we don't go with the super high roll. Okay, you can see that it is not hard to cap chaos resist. It's really not hard to cap chaos resist, mainly because of presence of Chayula. Alright, and just take all of them. Okay, and for the base jewel, there has been changes. Okay, this is really the one of the main changes. So over here now, we are gonna go one jewel with 2% increased reservation efficiency of skills. You definitely need this. Alright, 2% is gonna help you reserve your life. If you do not have this 2%, I'm sorry, you do not have enough life to reserve all three auras for your life on your Prism Guardian. Okay, so this is very important. And for right now, we're just going to go with 7% attack speed and reduce mana cost of skills. And the other side is 6% attack speed while holding a shield. Okay, so let's just say if okay, so total is 13%, right? Let me just find where the heck is it. Okay, so some of you might actually ask, what happened if I have 14%? Okay, so I'm just going to give you an example. Let's say if you have, okay, maybe 6%. Okay, I'm just going to decrease this. You can see we are only, let's say if a total of 12% increase attack speed. Okay, so because it is 6 plus 6, right? So it's 12. You're going to hit 10.06. Our breakpoint is 10.10. Okay, so that is why 13% speed is the optimal one. Okay, so that's why 7 plus 6, 13%, you're going to reach nearer to 10.10. Okay, and that's why we have this 7 and 6 over here, and the other jewel is just corrupted immunity to corrupted blood. Okay, sometimes our flask might not be up. Same energy shield, energy from reading is still here, unnatural instinct is still here. Alright, and militant fate is still here. So the changes to militant fate will be now the reduced cost of skills is mandatory. Okay, it is mandatory with the changes to the mastery. This has been implemented in the mid budget already. So if you are converting from the mid budget to high budget, you're still gonna use this. Alright, unless you are just using one line of this, which you do not have the increased elemental damage, then probably you need to buy another one. Alright, and we've said, right, I have just remembered the changes. There is one significant changes, alright, which is our Quicksilver Flask. Our flask is actually not the same. So now I have actually changed this to reduce effect on your Quicksilver Flask. And for our Amethyst Flask, we are going to go with immunity to bleeding and corrupted blood. Okay, because I have just seen so many of you complain about bleeding, which actually it should not be a problem because Vow Discipline is going to handle the bleeding portion. But in some rare situations or scenario where you already use up your Vow Discipline, okay, and you got bleed again, that is where the problem comes in. Okay, I have encountered a few of these situations already, and I think that is really not a good viable option. So I have changed this to immunity to bleeding. Alright, and now where do we get our leech? It's basically just that one small little note over here called energy shield leech. Okay, 0.3% of spell damage leech as energy shield. With this, we are still gonna leech 10% of it. Okay, you can see if I do not take this, I am not gonna leech anything. Okay, so why is this 5,700? It's because of this 10% instant leech. Okay, guys, at first I thought this 10% leech was a meme, but it turns out it is so good for the build. It is super good for the build. The reason is because for some other builds maybe it's not so powerful because the number of instances of hits that you hit on the enemy is probably once only. Like let's say if you're playing a self-casting spell, you know, you're gonna just shoot or cast one time, and it's gonna hit like once only, right? But our Cyclone is gonna hit 10 times. 10 times per second with the amount of projectile you hit on Ice Spear, which I don't know how much actually. How many projectiles do we have? Can we see from here? So this is 1, and then we have 2, and then GMP is like 4, 6. With our Ruby Flask that is 8. So we have 8 projectiles, 10 times, that is 80 instance of hit. All of these 80 instance of hit is going to have leech of 500, okay, because if you guys didn't know, the maximum life you can leech, right, is always 10% of your maximum ES only. That's all, okay? You cannot go higher than that unless you take some of the notes like here, okay? Increase total energy shield recovery per second from leech, right? Unless you take this, then it'll be higher, but that's why I always deem it as really very redundant, so any amount of spell damage is more than enough because you're going to hit the cap no matter what, right? So let's just say you have 500, okay, you've leech 500 and the instant leech is 10%, right? So 10% of 500 is 50, isn't it? Correct? I'm just going to bring up my calculator for you, okay? 500 times 10%, 0.1 is 50, right? We're going to hit 80 times. Sorry. So 50 times 80. Guys, this is like 4000 ES leech per second. Per second, okay? That's really crazy. This is like on top of our normal leech. So if you want to add in, I would say like the minimum or the average leech you can get per second is 4500. This is really nuts. Okay, on paper, on calculation, is like that. I don't know how they actually really calculated this, but what I can say is this 10% leech is really, really awesome for our build. Okay, I think it only applies for builds that hit many times and a lot of instances. So just take note of this. Right, and the rest of them is pretty much the same. Okay, we're still going to get a very good decent amount. So, yep, this is for the Ice Spear. Alright, next up is the Ice Nova. So for the Ice Nova, skill tree wise, there are some changes which is basically the same thing. Okay, it is the same thing. It's basically your small little damage of leech over here and the instant leech. Now, this 10% leech will not perform as well as the Ice Spear, alright, because we are not going to hit as many times. Ice Nova is just hitting once, but we're still going to hit 10 times, and our Frostbolt is still going to hit multiple times, right? So this leech is actually still very good. Okay, if you can see, our Ice Nova leech is 1100, and then our what's that, Frostbolt leech is about 768. Okay, then again, I don't know how they calculate this, but it is still very awesome. Okay, it is still very awesome according to some of the players that are currently playing Ice Nova now on the high budget, thanks to them. So yeah, this is still very good, but the performance definitely will not be as much as Ice Spear because the number of hits Ice Spear does is just way too many and the leech is too good. Alright, so changes over here is the same. Alright, we have the level 80, 90 and 103. I'll just leave it for you to see. Skills wise, there are some changes. So first of all is we are no longer going to use Arcane Search or whatever that's over here, and I've actually changed it to Cowling Strike because first of all, the Ice Nova Frostbolt is not a very good single target DPS, right? So the Cowling Strike is going to help us a lot when we are fighting like super tanky rare monsters, boss, or some pinnacle bosses as well. Okay, it's really good. And the rest is basically the same. You have your Vortex Hex Touch with the double curse, the auras, the cast when damage taken. The only difference between Ice Spear and Ice Nova is because of the double curse. We cannot use the double curse on the Ice Nova because we need to use Frostbite and Elemental Weakness, whereas the other one is Frostbite and Mark. So you have to press an additional button over here unless your Vortex is on left click, alright? And because of that, we do not have an extra socket, and that is why this is supposed to be on your ring. Okay, my bad. This is supposed to be on your ring. Okay, and the rest is just on your boots. So please take note of that. The aura is basically on your helmet because you have the +1 to socketed AoE gems. Right, just take note of this. This is like maybe your gloves and the rest can be boots. Yeah, you know, you can just play around with the things. Just that your aura has to be on the helmet because of the +1 to socketed AoE gems. Okay, items wise is basically the same or similar to the Ice Spear. Okay, there are a few changes, which is first of all your helmet. Of course, you have a different enchant, not the Ice Spear. So Ice Nova damage now, and you have the increase, the +1 to level of socketed AoE gems instead of projectiles. Glove. Now this is different, okay, because there are changes to the attack speed. Over here we are using a different cluster. We have to maintain the trigger rate or the APS of our Cyclone to as close as 10.0, and it works differently. So the glove is different for Ice Nova. You're gonna want to have in this scenario there is really no other better option, so I opt for 2 ES prefix, just the incursion core mod, and you want to have an open suffix so that you can benchcraft attack speed. Okay, 12% attack speed is what you want. You are hitting this sweet spot of 12% attack speed. If you have other attack speed from elsewhere, increase or decrease, you can just change this accordingly. Boots is still the same. Person of Charila, same. And first ring, this is the attribute ring, okay? And this basically works the same as the Ice Spear, just that the attribute requirement is slightly higher. You cannot roll for a 35 strength. You need at least a 40 strength right here. Okay, maybe slightly lesser is fine. Okay, as long as you reach 159 strength, to me it is actually okay. Right, you can see I still have enough strength even if I reach if I have 35 strength. And over here the ring 2, it is different. Okay, it's different. You want to have a resist ring, a base resist ring, because otherwise you cannot cap it. And you're still gonna spam Essence of Sorrow when you have a fractured energy shield, and what you want to get here is fire resist, because if you do not have this, you cannot cap your fire resist. Alright, and it's gonna be slightly dangerous. So strength we're gonna fulfill elsewhere, which is on our crystal belt, which I'll talk later. Right, so this is the attribute and resist ring. This is our ring 2. Belt is actually the same as Ice Spear. Alright, you're gonna either buy a fractured crystal belt with either strength or maximum energy shield, and just spam Essence of Envy with the chaos resistance, and just benchcraft your increased cooldown recovery rate. Right, Catalyst here is different. I am using the defense because we have more than enough strength. There is really no need for the Catalyst. Same, the flask also has been changed. So Quicksilver is just reduced effect, and Amethyst is just bleeding. For the 5th flask, because we are not going Ice Spear, we do not need Dying Sun. You're gonna use Bottle Fate instead. Right, and the rest is pretty much the same, just that the only difference, right? The only difference here is the base jewel. Let me find it. Okay, it's here, sorry. So the only difference is the base jewel, alright? 2% increased reservation efficiency of skills, 7% attack speed is swords, 4% reduced mana cost of skills. This is the same, and this applies to the other side as well. Okay, 7% as well. Alright, but just that this is gonna give you immunity to corrupted blood. So we need a total of 14% increased attack speed from here. If you can get higher, 8%, then it's really good, because why? Your benchcraft for the glove can be lower. You can roll for 11% attack speed if your jewel over here is, let's say, maybe 8%. So you just gotta change it yourself accordingly, okay? Do not just follow blindly word for word, item for item. Yup, and that's really all the changes. That's about it. I think that's all. Yup, the Militant Fate is the same as the Ice Spear as well. So yeah, okay, for the Ice Nova, right, I have only put in the Headhunter because I really don't see a point in playing Mage Blood over here. First of all, Ice Nova is not a bossing build, so Mage Blood is not gonna really cut it very well. And if you want to play Ice Nova, I really just highly recommend to go Headhunter for the next one. But the cost to go into Headhunter is expensive, alright? Just be mindful for both the Ice Spear and the Ice Nova. Because first of all, you need to get a elevated Tailwind Boots. You need to hit at least 18% cooldown recovery. And of course, you need to buy a Headhunter. And the next thing is you basically need Awaken Cast on Crit level 6. Okay, these two are the important one, because with level 6, you can see over here the second last line. Supported spells have 34% increased cooldown recovery rate. And with the boots, right, we are going to hit 18%. So 34 plus 18 is going to give us 52%, which is the bare minimum of our breakpoint for CoC. Okay, so yup, just take note of that, and that's it. Okay, the video was a bit long on the explanation, but I want to just explain all of the important stuff. I'm going to show you some gameplay next, so sit back and enjoy. Okay guys, I'm going to show you how the build will feel, alright? I'm just going to do one map. Okay, and I can safely tell you it is exactly still the same. Look at how fast I just demolished the boss, and it just has such a good clear as the same as last day. There is no changes, alright? There is really no changes. Okay, what's this? I can take burning round. I need to put this. Let me land on my gens. Ouch. It didn't hit me. It hits like a truck in single target, okay? And the clear is still so good because of Nimis as well. So I think it's a good thing that Nimis has dropped in such a horrible way. It was like 20 div and now it's only like 5 div. Yup, honestly I was a little bit shocked at myself. I think because just nobody is using Nimis right now. And apparently for my build here, it is still working perfectly fine. I think it's basically just to counter the interaction with Spark, Fireball, and those previous skills before that is actually very, very powerful. But yeah, nonetheless, you can see the clear is still so good. There is really no difference to it, to be honest. Look at how fast I just cleared the essence, the deafening essence in like one second, probably. Okay, and cleansing all. Let me take the corn. Okay, probably I will do a Crucible because we all know how strong is Crucible, right? Yeah, so maybe I will do a Crucible and show you guys. Okay, there is no Crucible though. That's so. I think the Crucible is on the right. Yup, it's there. Okay, it's there. Oh, sad. We have no harvest. I have no harvest this map. Okay, I think I've forgotten to bring my weapon. So give me a second. I'll just go pick up my white weapon real quick. Just take any one of the convoking one. And okay, I am going to full blast this thing. Okay, I'm going to full blast this thing, and let me show you how fast I am able to clear them. Okay, 100%, let's go. I might die because they are still very powerful. Okay, I might die. Holy crap, look at that. I'm pretty sure when I was at the mid-budget build, I couldn't clear this fast. Yeah, that's how fast this thing is right now. Okay, let me do this. Yeah, let me do this. Easy. Dead. Easy. Alright, just a very short showcase to you guys. Okay guys, this is me attempting the fear, alright. I'm already on the high budget, so this should be very easy. Okay, hopefully I just, not get some weird combo. Let's try and kill Chayula first. Hopefully she don't spin me to death. And here we have Aziri. Oh my god, her fire blast. I did not see that. My bad. I did not see that properly. Okay, let's just... I want to kill Aziri first. This thing is annoying. Yep. I really hate her. Like, seriously hate her to the max. Okay, and this one is dead as well. We left... Let me see if I can kill him first. Should be fine. I can't hit, right? Okay, Cortex. Oh wait. Yep, he was about to shoot that thing. I do not have enough damage. No wonder. You see that thing? That circle vortex there is like standing in the center, and he is there as well. Does it stay there forever? I can't remember. Okay, let's go. Nope. Boom. Die. Alright, we're done. That's all. Easy. Okay, so everything has been explained already. If there are still any questions, guys, first of all, I want you to go over to the notes and read my Q&A, FAQ, whatever you want to call it, okay? Just please read them first before you actually ask me, right? Because there are a lot of questions. This build is really not just a simple build. It's actually quite complicated, so I don't really recommend this to beginners. But if you really want to play, guys, you have to learn it. Okay, you have to really learn and understand what you are playing. Don't just blindly follow word for word. My guides are there to make it more convenient for you to buy the items. There are notes, there are instructions what to take note, especially the important ones. So yeah, really try to at least learn what is going on. Okay. Yep, that's it. I hope you guys have fun spinning this leak. Enjoy.